Mauritius wants compensation for the damage to its environment caused by an oil spill from a Japanese cargo ship. The ship's owner, Nagashiki Shipping, says it feels its responsibility acutely and intends to take steps towards assessing compensation. Conservation experts warn that the consequences of the massive pollution will take decades to be eliminated, and a race is on to clear the ship of all fuel before it breaks up.
Mauritius avoided another massive oil spill after most of the oil was pumped out, but there's still 100 tons remaining. If it leaks, it will worsen the already major ecological disaster that the country is suffering. Japanese bulk carrier Wakashio ran aground off Mauritius more than 2 weeks ago. An estimated 1,000 tons of heavy oil spilled into the pristine waters of the island nation. It happened just 2 kilometers from Blue Bay Marine Park, a conservation area with endangered birds and rare plants. Thousands of Mauritians have been working for days in a massive local cleanup operation.
The boat's actually breaking into 2 pieces, so we're kind of unsure if it's actually ever going to leave. It might be stuck there forever, but we're hoping that eventually we'll find a way to get rid of it.
The Japanese government has sent a team to assist. UN agencies and other international groups have mobilized specialists and equipment. But the contamination has already killed many species of sea life and damaged coral reefs and mangrove forests. Livelihoods have been jeopardized as many in Mauritius rely on fishing and tourism.
For the fishermen, for the local guys that live there, that's how they make money, with the tourists taking them out to go diving, to go snorkeling, to go wakeboarding, to go see dolphins and all that kind of thing, and all of that's going to affect it if we don't kind of get it under control very soon.
Environmental activists believe it will take at least 35 years of work to restore the area.
And for a closer look, we're joined by Dr. Vikash Tataya, Conservation Director of the Mauritian Wildlife Foundation. Thank you very much, Dr. Tataya, for joining us. As we've heard in the report there, it's quite serious. Put it in context, tell us, why is this particular oil spill so bad?
Well, first of all, it's the first major oil spill that Mauritius has experienced. And secondly, it's where the oil spill is happening or has happened. It is in the southeast of the country, in a place where you have 2 Ramsar sites, the Blue Bay Marine Park and the Point Destiny Ramsar wetland site. And you have a very important nature reserve called Île aux Aigrettes, which we manage, which has got lots of very rare plants and rare birds and rare reptiles. And you have further north from that wreck, you have 4 other islands which have very rare reptiles with unique genetic makeup. And on top of that, the sea was recovering from, for the past 20 years, from sand mining, which had been banned in Mauritius, and marine life was coming back nicely in this bay. And so the impact of the oil spill is quite extensive for the southeast of Mauritius, but it's also potentially long-lasting.
Yeah, talk to us about the sort of long-lasting effects of it. Why will it take decades to deal with the consequences of this oil spill on the marine ecosystem?
Well, we understand that 800 tons of petroleum products have spilled in the sea. And it has been, a lot of it has accumulated on beaches, in mangroves. Some of it has sunk to the bottom of the lagoon. Our own reserve is now surrounded with the petroleum, and the air is unbreathable in much of the southeast of Mauritius. If we are affected by it, animals are going to be affected by it, and also it's going to run up into the water cycle and into the food chain. So it's going to impact on birds. It's going to impact on reptiles. It's going to potentially kill off native plants that grow on these islands. But on top of that, we fear that there might be birds that may be oiled, or even turtles may be oiled, because there are a number of marine turtles in the region as well.
Well, the ship's owner, Nagashiki Shipping, says that, it feels its responsibility and it is taking steps towards assessing compensation. How will compensation be calculated? How much do you estimate it will be?
I have no idea how much it's going to be. But what is important is that the insurers must pay for the environmental damage, for the material cost and damage, and for the loss of livelihood for fishermen and for tourism operators. We have been discussing how to estimate what is the impact of this, and we need environmental lawyers to advise us and to estimate all of these costs and put in a comprehensive claim to the insurers and make sure that we get the compensation that Mauritius rightly deserves, and rather than what we have received in the past for other wrecks, which basically where we really got peanuts for the damage and for the impact that such wrecks had caused in the past. But just to say that this is the first time that a significant amount of oil has actually spilled into the sea.
And are there wider implications of this oil spill beyond Mauritius?
No, as far as I know, it is currently affecting much of the southeast of Mauritius. Of course, some of the oil is going out through passes in the reef and going onto the high seas. So it is going to affect the high seas, but although it is still within the territorial waters of Mauritius, it will be difficult to assess what is the impact on the high seas of Mauritius. But I think we have to concentrate on estimating the loss to livelihood and to wildlife within the lagoon itself. The Mauritian Wildlife Foundation has been working for nearly 40 years on Îles Aigrettes and the other southeast islets to restore habitats, to save plants, to reintroduce birds, reptiles, reintroduce tortoises, and to set up education and ecotourism. So the financial impact on our organization is massive.
Well, you mentioned that the oil spill happened in the Mauritius waters. What can the international community do to help the island?
I think one thing which is coming through is that a lot of the of the vessels, whether they are tankers, whether they are container ships, whether they are fishing vessels, they are passing so close to Mauritius, and they are not keeping to their minimum 12 nautical miles, if not more, from the coast of Mauritius. And these are not ships which have to stop at Mauritius. These are ships that are passing by, and yet they are coming very close to the shores. And I think we have to talk to IMO, International Maritime Organization, and we have to put stricter rules in place to prevent these ships from just coming so close to us. I'm not sure, but I've heard that they are coming close so that they can pick up our internet signal. This is not a reason for them to be coming so close if that proves to be correct. But I believe the inquiry will show all of this, but I feel that the captain is responsible for gross negligence, which has been at the heart of this tremendous oil disaster. Environment is an ecological and an economic disaster to the southeast of Mauritius.
I wish you all the best for the recovery. Dr. Vikash Tataya there, Conservation Director of the Mauritian Wildlife Foundation.